10 o'clock team, so it's probably a good time to get started. If anyone joins after the fact, I'll attend to that. The session is being recorded, so people can watch it later for those that miss it or like to see it again. Bill, would you like to push through the next slide? Yes, as mentioned, presentation's being recorded and will be added to the Kinetics webinar. Microphones are muted to minimize disruption and background noise. And please use the Teams chat to ask any questions, and we will endeavour to get to those through the session. Today we have Bill, the Kinetics CTO, running our webinar, and we're joined by Sean Stitt from Huntress, a technical account manager at Huntress. And I'll leave you guys to it. So thank you.
All right, Sean, hopefully you can take control of the slide deck, and
yep, I got you.
And hopefully we're going to get more people to join. We had close to 20, so yeah, somebody's coming through now. So
nice.
By the time you finish talking about yourself, Sean, we'll already be 15 minutes in.
Yeah, that's all good. So for everybody who is here and for those watching the recording, I am Sean. So it does the sales engineer there. I actually am now a technical account manager. I've had a very technical background my entire life. So I've been in the industry over 20 years. So I've worked help desk, I've worked at MSPs, I've worked for gambling companies, I've hunted down people doing abusive things with gambling companies. So lots of fun background and fun things that I've definitely been through in my time. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the threat landscape. So we'll talk about the threat landscape, and yeah, I can see people joining in, so welcome to everyone. We haven't fully kicked off yet. We can give it to Bill. Do you want to make like 2 more minutes?
Yeah, we normally get a good join rate, so it's yeah, and people are coming a little bit late, so
that's okay. Perhaps, it's early in the morning. We'll give them a couple of minutes.
What I can say is what's one of the reasons that's driving this webinar is we have worked with Huntress, and I'll call out our CEO, Andrew Hunt, for this. He's done a really good deal with Huntress that has enabled us to change our Care Foundation products, and we are adding to Care Foundation a 24/7 service for monitoring and reacting to security alerts across all your devices that are covered under Care and your 365 tenancy. Now that is so vital. This is people like Sean, maybe not as smart as Sean, but people like Sean that are watching 24/7. Even when you're asleep, your 365 presence is there. The rest of the world is working. People are actively trying to hack in. I know that last week I was getting prompts at 3 a.m. in the morning about stuff that was going on with people trying to use single sign-on from my account to get into some systems. We now have Huntress there watching that, and if there's an issue, they will jump in, they will protect you, and they will isolate your device or your account. They will stop the bad guys from being able to move forward with the attack, and then they'll give us a call, and we'll come along and we'll help clean it up and make sure that everything's under control. That's a big shift. That's not changing the pricing for Care. It's been added in at no extra cost to your foundation. And hence we've got Sean along to try and explain to us what, a bit better than my rambling, just what it is that Huntress does and why this is so important.
Yeah, so we'll go through a little bit of like the threat landscape. Kinetics also has a lot of access to me, so they can always get in touch with me. It is earlier here in Australia. I've already been talking to people since about 6 this morning, so yeah, I'm nice and fresh for this, ready to go. So Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the threat landscape. We'll actually talk about how they're using AI against you to give you some ideas of how we're kind of combating that as well. Then we'll go through some incident reports, and right at the end, I'll actually show you how they steal your Microsoft 365 credentials. All right, I'll actually show you something that I put together. So it's a server that I built that captures credentials and how they actually do that. So you'll see some real examples. You'll see how it actually works from both sides. So you are a bit protected from that. Feel free as well. We will have Q&A, so I will make sure we leave some time at the end. Throw those in the chat or the Q&A, and we'll get those answered. So you can ask me any questions you like, even if it's something like, how do I protect myself in my personal life? Sure, I'm happy to answer those questions, right? So threat landscape. What threat actors are really doing these days is they're doing a twofold attack. They want to get into your systems, and then they want to get the information out. So they want to leak the information to their own devices, and then they want to go and ransomware you, because then they can say, well, you've got to pay us to unlock the ransomware. But then a month later, they go, by the way, we still have your data, so you're going to pay us again. Right? We don't like that. It's not very cool, but that is what they're doing. So this is the industries that we're actually seeing targeted at the moment. So this is 2024 versus 2025.
Sean,
Yeah.
are the slides moving on your screen?
Yeah, they're moving on mine.
Okay, all right.
Hang on. Sync to present. Hang on. Why are they not moving for you guys? What I can
jump
we
forward to.
are we there, or are we on industry?
I've jumped
I think
through
it
to
was
the.
just a bit delayed. Yeah. Yep. So these are the industries targeted. So 2024 versus 2025. You've got healthcare. This is worldwide. So healthcare was probably one of the biggest ones. 2025, that's gone up to 21%, manufacturing 17%, education 16%, technology. So people like Kinetics, because they do like to go after those MSPs, because it gives you lots of access to things. Government agencies, and then other. If you want some very specific APAC, I don't have exact New Zealand numbers, but I can give you APAC, so the wider region. Financial services is actually the biggest one. That's about 22%, based on my latest stats. Healthcare is very similar to the worldwide, about 16. Construction engineering would be your next at 14, then manufacturing and transport, they're under 10%. So that's what we're really seeing in APAC.
I think, have you actually taken control
Let me
up the
let
top?
me take yeah, let me hit take
There,
control.
you've got it now.
There we go. All right. All right, cool. Yeah, getting used to Teams. I'm a Zoom person.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Okay, so here you've got the frequency of threats overall. So this is what we're seeing. So RMM abuse, RMM are the tools that Kinetics and other people like Kinetics will use to deploy software, monitor your environment. It's part of your care package. Threat actors also want to install these tools because it's a really great way of doing it. Malware, very, very high. Malicious scripts, very, very high. Info stealers have actually dropped off a little bit. Rats are remote access Trojans, ransomware, lateral movement, and hacking tools. So these are the different kind of attacks we're seeing around there. So you can actually see RMM abuse from the previous year just absolutely spiked out of control, because it's a way for them to hide in plain sight. It's very, very difficult to tell the difference between a threat actor's version and an MSP's version. But that's what we're really here for. All right, this is your how quickly they're actually ransomwaring you, and this is up a little bit from the previous year. So we're seeing that it's jumped a little in time, but this is really an average. So we're actually finding it depends how long it takes them to kind of get the reconnaissance and find the information. So one key thing I would say is the best security controls you can have are on the people who have the access to the most stuff. Now, this may not be your C-level, right? They may not have the rights to everything. Like think your people team, your HR, your culture team, people like that are going to have access to a lot of systems. They're the people that are really going to be targeted, right? And they're getting very, very specific. The less you can say about your role on LinkedIn, probably the better, right? Or at least watch your LinkedIn to see who's looking at your profile and make sure that you're not just adding random people. Really good suggestion. These are the different hacking tools that they use, so all different things. Now, the interesting thing about this is a lot of these tools were actually created by techs like myself who did penetration testing and everything, and then threat actors get their hands on them and then use them for um, bad sources. Mimikatz over here, the one that's really spiked in 2025, as well as this atomic red team. This might be caused by me, this atomic red team, just from people doing a lot of testing with it. But Mimikatz here, that is a tool that can dump all the passwords from your computer. Please don't go and Google it. Please don't run it, because if we see it on your computer, we will isolate your computer. Don't do that.
I
Right?
had I received a notification the other day. I can't remember if it was Mimikatz or Cobalt
Yeah,
Strike. Now basically using AI in real time to
correct.
recompile it, so it looks like a different application. So
Yeah.
happening very quickly.
Yeah. So this is your attack chain. So this is the standard thing that threat actors do, right? So they like to go and get malicious VPN logins. So they'll try and get your credentials from somewhere. Now, reusing passwords, you've probably been told this many, many times, and Kinetics would tell you this. Password manager, please, on all your personal stuff as well. It's super important, because assume your passwords have been leaked somewhere. I've been hit with multiple of these big companies in Australia. Like I was an Optus customer, so leaked, Qantas customer, so leaked, right? And I work in cybersecurity. You're not at control of what these third parties are doing or their security controls. So if you have reused passwords, assume that password has been leaked somewhere. It's the best thing you can do.
I just had
Um,
here in New Zealand manage my health, so it provides logins for a lot of the doctors and the health practices around New Zealand.
yeah,
Big
yeah.
leak.
So yeah, separate passwords, please. And right, yeah, just do a weekend project of doing it. Pick a password vendor. Talk to Kinetics; they'll be able to suggest you one, right? They'll brute force. So what they do with brute force is they'll take a lot of the common passwords or like dictionaries, and they'll just do a dictionary attack where they just keep slamming the password at it until it matches something, right? So the more random you can make it, the best suggestion I can make for you there is definitely go through and use a sentence, something that makes sense to you, but isn't anything obvious to a threat actor. So just make it like 4 different words that makes a sentence, because then you'll remember it, but then the threat actors won't be able to guess it. It's a lot harder for AI and a machine to run through sentences than it is individual words. All right.
Sean told me to.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. If this is going public, maybe not. But yeah, Sean advised me this password would be good, right? And put some numbers in there instead of letters. Then they'll use remote desktop protocol to do lateral movement. They'll then run some scheduled tasks to maintain persistence, and then they'll execute ransomware, right? This is something that Kinetics will probably talk to you about in the future, in that Huntress, we can see a lot of stuff, but the more products of Huntress you actually use, the more we can see. So this kind of maps it to the different data sources. And I'll skip ahead to really go to here, right? If you're just using the EDR and ITDR, so if you're in a really compliant industry, you're in like financial health services or healthcare, your cyber insurer is eventually going to ask you to have a SIM or SIEM, however people prefer to pronounce it. It's SIEM, so you can go CM if you want to. that is going to be required for you to get even better cyber security insurance premiums. And as the New Zealand government works on your cyber frameworks more, you're going to see the need for SIM to come in more and more, right? And this is where we have a little bit of a visibility gap. So we can see when people get onto computer and start doing some dodgy stuff, but with a SIM, we can see them earlier in the attack chain where we can go, oh, they've just got through your VPN. Let's go and fix that for you. All right. So we can really help out there. So just think of it, it's giving us more information so we can stop the threat actors earlier. But still, if you don't have this, we will still be able to stop them here. Right. So we've still got your back, but we can have your back even better if you have the SIM as well. All right, let's talk about your identity threat. So this is your Microsoft 365, and this is really what's happening. They're using VPNs to go and get around a lot of the rules that we as techs put in. So we say, hey, you can only connect to your Microsoft 365 account if you're using an IP in New Zealand. Well, that's great. If I've got your credentials, what I can do is I can just fire up NordVPN, ExpressVPN, any of those VPNs that you've seen on sports advertisements or on TV or YouTube ads. I can use that, say I'm in New Zealand, and now that control is broken, right? Location rule violations. This is where you go overseas and you don't inform Kinetics and say, hey, I'm traveling. Please, when you're traveling, if you're going to use your phone and you're going to connect to your email, if you're going on holidays, please stop connecting to your email, just for the good of your own mental health. But if you are going to do it and you check your email before you go, just let Kinetics know, because they're getting an escalation to say Sean has logged in from Fiji or Indonesia or something like that. And then they've got to contact you and say, hey, are you logging in from that location, right? So just let them know, hey, traveling for this amount of time from here, they can put in a rule so they don't get that. What we're seeing really spike, and what you will see today, is an attacker in the middle attempt, which is the little orange one just to the left. This is where people are stealing your session token. Now, what stealing session token is, have you ever wondered why when you've Googled one thing, so let's say you've Googled some furniture, and then you're just constantly getting ads for furniture, right? Constantly for the next few weeks, or you go to like a website and then advertising comes up for that. Well, that's to do with you accepting those cookies, right? When you sign into Microsoft 365, know how it says, hey, stay signed in? When you say yes, that's you saying, hey, make this session last basically forever. Now, there's some settings in the background that we can do to say, hey, we'll expire that session token after some time, right? What they're doing is they're trying to get you to log into their version of Microsoft 365, so a phishing website, and you'll see how all of this works later with the video. But what it does is it captures that session token, and now I'm not required to use MFA anymore because you've already approved the MFA. So in your personal life and in your corporate life, stop saying yes to stay signed in. All right? No, don't stay signed in. I know this is going to require you to log in more. It is, and I do apologize for that, but you are going to be less likely to get hacked. All right? So just keep that in mind. All right, let's jump forward. All right, so how are they using AI? So AI is really coming into play. They're not creating really new attacks. They're just being able to do the attacks faster and really tailor it, right? So this is something that we shut down about a few weeks ago. So it's something we were tracking in February. Now, the group was called Evil Tokens, so you know they're pretty bad. So what they did is, this is their actual shop. So this is out of a Telegram, and they were using a product called railway.com. Now, we didn't know what railway.com was, but it's basically a site that allows you to spin up servers and automation and do a whole bunch of stuff. So what they were doing is they were using AI workflows that help bypass your email filters. So email filters work on certain rules and certain structures and look for patterns. So they're using AI to change that pattern so there wasn't a consistent like lure. So what really happens there is that it's very hard for the email filter to block it and adapt very quickly. What it also allowed them to do was tailor phishing lures. So when we're trying to trick you, and that's what it is. And so never feel bad if you've clicked on a phishing email. You need to get in touch with Kinetics immediately. Like we got your back. We'll block a lot of stuff, but getting in touch with them and just sticking a hand up, right? Nobody's going to be angry with you. It's like we have to stick our hand up to say, hey, I've clicked on something, right? It's going to make life a hell of a lot easier for everyone, because we can then go and track that down. So this allowed them to really tailor the phishing lure and make it really specific to your industry or your business, which is rare. Usually they just go, hey, we're just going to send one out. It's like the evolution of the send this to 50 people, so forward this email chain to 50 people, or you'll pass away, right? Yeah, there's the evil tokens link as well. And then it also helped find sensitive emails for wire fraud. And then here, you can actually see their internal dashboard. Don't ask us how we got that. Can't really legally talk about that. But yeah, we got some shady people on our side as well. So this is their actual, it looks like a normal kind of dashboard that you would log into. This dashboard gave them the ability to do custom branding. So they could take your logo off your website and send you an email with your own logo, right? Or one of your supply chains or a known vendor or things like that. So we've got to be really careful these days about how much information we want to put publicly, because AI is giving us the ability to go and pull this very quickly and then upload it into this dashboard and make things really, really targeted. That's why I'm saying don't feel bad if you get caught out by one of these things now. Have the paranoia to say, yeah, threat actors are coming after me now, because they're coming after everyone. But what you want to do is just go, is this the way somebody would normally communicate? And I suggest to everyone when I'm doing these webinars, personal life, corporate life, if you're like buying a house, like I'm about to buy another apartment, right? Buying that, I'm not taking phone numbers off emails or anything like that. I am meeting people in person, and I am taking their business cards and I am sticking it in a book, right? Have a what we refer to as a physical playbook. Have that. So when you get an email with from someone and they're like, I need this payment, or our bank details have changed, or hey, like I'm your new contact here, you can take that physical book and call them. If you can't get on the phone with them, don't pay them until you can get on the phone with them. People will understand and say, okay, that's fine. And you can just tell them, look, we're very security conscious here. We don't do this. Because what's going to happen if you pay someone that's faking to be one of your supply chain vendors, if you pay a threat actor there, you are going to have to pay that business again, right? Because you still haven't paid them. You paid the threat actor. Even if they've got hacked, there was a case in Australia where somebody got hacked. The other company paid the threat actors. The company that paid the threat actors still had to pay the invoice to the other business. The court ruled in favor of the people who got hacked, right? Because the other people didn't have the security conscious to get on the phone with them and verify everything. Don't call the number on the email, because threat actors change that as well. And AI is making that much faster.
I would hate to think of the reputational damage that takes place, because
Huge.
there will be that point in time when you've got one company saying we've already paid you and the other isn't. And so what happens, both companies are going to know what took place. And so people are going to talk. They're going to go home and say, oh, you won't believe what happened today. And yeah,
Yeah.
just incredible.
Yeah, I even had one where a person called me from a business and like, Sean, this isn't a business call, this is a personal call. And it was that their conveyancer, their lawyer, and the real estate all got done, and they paid the house payment into the wrong account, and it was like $1.5 million gone. And they're like, "Can you help?" And I'm like, "I'll try, but there's only so much I can do, right?" So it's heartbreaking. I don't want that to happen to anyone. So please take business cards. Business cards are still a thing, right? Even if you just type it on your own phone in a note and save it, that's fine as well. But just something where you can have that, right? So what we actually did see is we saw this. What they were doing is they were using what's called device code phishing. So with Microsoft 365, what I can do is I can generate a code. So if I know your email address, I can go to the Microsoft 365 website, and this is how we log into like Teams rooms and printers and things like that, Teams phones, and it will send you a code, right, to go and enter. So it'll send the email a code, then the threat actor will actually reach out and go, "Hey, I'm from your IT team. I'm trying to set up this Teams phone. Can you just send me the code that we just sent you?" Right? So they'll get that code and then they'll go and enter that code in. So we saw this hitting 340 organizations across US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Germany in late February. So New Zealand customers were getting attacked by this. The phishing templates they were sending were all they weren't identical. They were all tailored and personalized. That's how they were using AI. They were using AI to build landing pages. So when you clicked on the link, it had a unique landing page. They had used AI to copy DocuSign and impersonate DocuSign. They'd used AI to use that for accents, for voicemail notifications, and they were using AI to build Microsoft form pages, all through this railway.com IP infrastructure. So what Huntress did, so we used our ITDR product, which is part of the package Bill was talking about earlier, to push a conditional access policy to people that had that security level. So please make sure you at least have Entra P1 and or Business Premium. There's a reason for that. There's a lot more security in it. So what we did is we went and created a rule that blocked the IPs from railway.com so these wouldn't get through. At this number's now higher. When I wrote this presentation a week and a bit ago, we'd blocked 112 organizations from getting hacked, which I'm very, very proud of for us. So
I'll just at this point say, and this could be taking place, this action, stepping in and protecting you at 1 a.m. in the morning on a public holiday. It could happen over Easter. And I do know of a company that got breached just on the Easter Thursday evening. So they had a whole weekend in there to enjoy themselves before
yep.
somebody comes to work on the Tuesday and finds it out. So that 24-hour, 24/7, not just alerts that are going to somebody and waking them up, people who are actively monitoring, making decisions, stepping in and protecting you.
This rule was put in at about 1 a.m. your time on like a Friday morning. So that's where the 24/7 aspect comes into it, and we got some really smart people overseas. All right, so here's some real incident reports. So these are New Zealand companies that have been attacked. So you'll be able to like zoom in on this at some point. But this is one where they were dumping the registry. So they were dumping the registry and moving around to steal passwords. This is one where Microsoft Defender actually blocks some of the stuff, but we came in over the top and were able to give more information, give more help to the customer, and kind of show them exactly what happened. Let's jump to the next one, and then we'll show you the fun stuff. All right, this is an adversary in the middle one. So here, the one thing that I would ask you to always check is if you just look in here, is this the right one, or have I reordered these? Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry. Yeah, no, I was looking at the wrong slides on my side. This was a device code authentication one. This one here, this was Axios. So this is a data center where they just attack from, and a lot of people don't detect this. So we know this is a bad known IP, so we can block this here. So this logged the person out of their Microsoft 365 account and disabled the account during the night. So went through and did that. All my times are in UTC, so I do apologize for that. It'll kind of break your brain. The next one here, this is an info stealer. So this is one where it's a group called ClickFix. So what ClickFix does is they're the ones that use, and I'm sure you've seen it on a lot of websites where it says, hey, this is Cloudflare. Can you click this link? And then you click the different, hey, is this a bike? Is this a blah? Is this a traffic light? Just as an FYI on that, the way that actually works is it doesn't actually matter what you click on. It's just verifying kind of the times in between you click on things, because an AI or a script will always click at the same intervals. So it doesn't really matter. So if you think there's just like an edge of a traffic light on another one, you don't need to click it. Don't stress about it. So what ClickFix does, if you ever see this, whether you're on Windows or Mac, it works on both. If you ever click that little tick box to verify that you are human, and it says, can you please hit Windows key on your keyboard plus R, or Command key on Mac? If you see those, I believe it's Command space. If you see those, instantly close that website. It's not good. You're not breached. What they're trying to do is get you to run a command that gives them access to your computer. So super important there. If you ever are asked to run anything by a website, don't do it. And then the final one, this is a adversary in the middle attack, which you're about to see. This is an adversary in the middle attack where they got tricked. So here you can kind of see the URL. So the domain there is actually login.mca.pilotlive365office.easternsecuritysafe.org. They're always going to try and put login at the front, and then they're going to try and put something Microsoft, and then hope you don't look at the rest of the URL. One little trick that you can do with URLs, copy the URL, because a lot of the times threat actors, what they're doing is, if your domain has an M in it, not an N, but an M for microphone. If they're doing that, what they actually do is, they register another domain. So instead of registering Microsoft.com, they actually register RN for no, Microsoft, because the R and the N very close together. If you're not paying attention, in a URL looks like an M for microphone or Microsoft, right? So be very careful with that. Grab the URL, copy it into a Word document or something, and then just move the cursor along, and you'll see the cursor drop in between the R and the N. All right. Little crazy things. All right, let's see. Is this video going to play? I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think it will there. So if I can take it over for a second, I'll stop sharing that one. Actually, can I just go share, and can I go? I don't think I have permission to share it.
I'm supposed to be able to.
Hang on, let me stop presenting that, and let me try this. Window. Oh, I think that might be. I think that's my Mac. Give me one sec. I'm just hoping I'm not gonna have to restart this. Yeah, no, I'd have to restart mine. Bill, do you have the actual? Oh, you don't have the presentation
There's a
ability.
login for it. Yeah.
Yeah. What I'll do is actually, if somebody else has the rights to share, give me one second, and I'll throw a link in the chat, because then you can all go and watch it. And if somebody has the rights to share other than me and can just open this in a browser,
Okay.
just give me
All right.
1
Can do
second.
that.
There is Huntress value to customer. Yeah. Right. Okay. If you could go to that link and just
Yep.
open that up for me, and then just share it. I'll be able to walk you through this. So to set the context of what you're going to see a tool called Evil Jinx. Evil Jinx is this. So this little black screen in the background is a tool that allows me to capture your cookie, right? And your username and password. So this is a server that I've got overseas. So if you click next for me. Yep. All right. Yep. So they go and load Evil Jinx. Just click next. All those sites there are all the different phishing sites that I have. So what I do here is I go enable Fishlet, which is my phishing site for Microsoft 365. So click next. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my URL. So I actually own that domain, login.m365online.online. I send that to you and I get you to click it. So the thing I want you to always check is that URL up the top, right? So just click next. So this looks exactly the same. So it'll point out the URL in a second. Yep, just click, yep. So there you go, right? You click on the link in your email and it gets to this website. Now, it looks exactly the same as the Microsoft 365 website. It's exactly the same. I can even take your corporate branding and make it look the same with AI. So click next. So I then go and put my credentials in. Go for your life. You're going to see my password probably at this point. Oh, no, you won't. Yep. So I enter my password.
Short.
Yep. And then here, it actually does the MFA token, right? This is where it captures the MFA token. So you click next. So you think everything's going normal. What happens is it pivots back to the real Microsoft site. That's the real Microsoft site. So bookmark that. That's the important thing, right? Click next. And then this is what it looks on my side. So if you look on this screen, just click next. You will see my password for that. It's in blue up the top. So you'll see username and password. So username and password there, the two blue ones just above the green captured, is the actual password for that account. So go nuts, right? It has my IP address. All this junk. Yep, just click next. So now we go back to the normal Microsoft 365. You can see I'm not logged in here, right? No one's logged in. We click next. We go back and all this junk is your actual session token. So that's what a cookie actually looks like, all that code, right? So we grab that, we click next, I copy that information. I go to a little tool I've got, which allows me to insert a cookie into my browser or a session token. I click next. So I paste all that junk in and then I click import. At this point, yep, just click next. Yep. I hit refresh and it logs me in. It does not require MFA. It does not require the username. It does not require the password. That's how easy it is. That took me 45 minutes over lunch one day to build when I was just a bit bored. So I built that over lunch and then I can legitimately, it takes me 2 minutes to spin everything up. And then I've got access to your 365 environment. And then I'm going to pivot around. I'm going to put inbox rules in. I'm going to start stealing information, right? Now, this one also happened to be an admin account. So that could have been real nasty. And that's why I showed you an incident report of us catching an adversary in the middle attack, because we can catch it while they're doing it. So we can revoke all the sessions. We can expire all those sessions so that session cookie doesn't work anymore. And then we lock your account so Bill can go and reset your password and everything can be done, right? So there's steps that we go through to make sure that you're definitely protected there. But yeah, open for anybody to ask any questions. If you want to ask any questions, happy to answer really anything or give you back your morning. It's not lunch yet, so
So, so that's really interesting, because once they've got that token, basically they can take that and put that onto any machine they want anywhere, and they're just instantly logged in as you until it
correct.
times out.
Yep.
So just to clarify, what's Huntress doing to circumvent that there, Sean?
Yeah, so when you click on the link, we can see
Okay.
that. When you've like entered your credentials and everything, we can't stop them from we can't stop you from clicking through to the website and entering your credentials, but when that's captured, we can see that.
Sure.
And then we can revoke all the sessions. So we can kill that session you've logged in from,
Okay.
and we lock your Microsoft 365 account so people can't get in.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's really good. And that's
and
happening 24/7 for
24/7. 365 days a year, 366 in a leap year. We got you covered. We're definitely doing that. We, like, our SOC analysts work Christmas Day, they work New Year's Day, they work all the public holidays. So we've got you covered to make sure you're protected. And that's something that we want you to go and spend time with your family, time with your friends, and not worry about this stuff. You need the time away. That's why we have your back, right? And then if you've got anything where you're like, oh, I have these cybersecurity questions, or this would be interesting to me, or I want to know a little bit more about something, please reach out to Kinetics. They can always get in touch with me. I'm around and I can answer those things, even if it's just, hey, this has happened in my personal life. How could I avoid this in the future? One thing as well, I do stress with people. I know there is a QR code on this. This is not my QR code, so you can trust it. Um, be careful scanning QR codes, especially in your personal life.
yeah,
Yep.
I'll back that up. There
Yeah,
is no reason in the world for somebody to email you a QR code.
yep,
If
yep,
it comes in an email, something is wrong.
yep.
Right? They can just send you the link.
Yep, exactly that. And the other one, if you're at restaurants or bars, because people got very used to it during like lockdowns and everything, that we got very used to scanning QR codes. If it's on a laminated menu that somebody has walked out of the kitchen or behind the table and handed you, or you've taken from the actual serving table, that's fine. If there's one just stuck on the table, just scratch it. Just scratch the edge and see if there's a second sticker underneath it. Because a lot of threat actors are just going around and sticking a QR code on top of it to try and capture your credit card or some sort of credentials. All right. So just be vigilant, right? The more vigilant you can be, the safer you're going to be. So always just have, I refer to it as my bump of trouble, where I'm like, that feels weird, right? That feels weird. That person wouldn't communicate with me. That business wouldn't communicate with me in that way. On top of that, we've got your back for your business to make sure you're okay, right? So 24/7, we gotcha. We'll lock down the environment if we need to lock down the environment. We'll give Kinetics all the guidance. We'll help them clean it up. And then if there's things that we find that are new, novel things like that railway.com, we'll even go to the level of doing extra things for you that we want to make sure, right?
Sure.
So we're very, very vigilant in this. Our entire mantra here is we want to wreck hackers' days. There's a lot more swearing around that, but I don't want to do that on this webinar. But yeah, we love ruining hackers' days. So that's kind of our vibe. But yeah, if you need anything, please reach out. You've got a great partner in Kinetics. They're doing really good things. They've spent a lot of time with me, and a lot of the stuff I was like, oh, you should do this, and they're like, we're already doing that, and I'm like, excellent. So you got a good partner here. They've got constant access to me to give them extra guidance as well.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Um,
Thank you, Sean.
so
No
if
worries.
anyone's got any follow-up questions, just email us, drop Scott or your account manager, myself, an email, or give us a call, and we can answer your questions. We are in the process of deploying this across all our foundation clients now. So, and we're doing, there's two parts to it: the 365, protecting that 24/7 always online part of the system, and we also put in an agent onto all your laptops, servers, PCs that are covered, and that agent is watching what is happening on the laptop, on those devices as well. All that information coming together into Huntress, who are our, I was going to say not the Eye of Sharon, but or Sharon, but
Close to, right? Close to. And apologies if this was terrifying. I try not to be too scary. I'm pretty friendly. So yeah, you've got things in place to make the world a little bit less terrifying with this cyber stuff. So yeah, you got a couple of good partners here to make sure you're protected. Right.
We've gone
Excellent.
over a bit here, so yeah, please,
Yeah.
if you have any questions, give us a call.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
if you are interested, next time we meet or next webinar next month is around Copilot. So more focused on the productivity and possibilities side of tech, the Copilot agent mode and Claude. And we know a lot of people are playing with and trying to use this a lot more. So we're keen to explore that. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you there. So thank you very much, Bill, and thank you very much, Sean, for your input today. It's very helpful. Really great.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.